Okay, well, silicon is super awkward this game. Look at this. This is almost tempting. I am almost tempted to just throw down scientific right here and see what I can do with it. Just throw down scientific, put down glass furnaces, go. Somehow I doubt it would work very well, but it could be hilarious just because I would have all the silicon. It's so tempting. I might do it anyway, just because it's actually that ridiculous. I'll wait if that's my plan, but it's too weird. It's too stupid.
Robotic colony founded.
Mm-hmm. Waiting. There, we'll go with that.
Well done on finding it. Now then, the day is ticking.
You can't even afford to put down glass furnaces this early in the game. That's so ridiculous. I thought I'd be able to put down 3 glass furnaces. Nope, can't. Everything costs too much. Why does it... It's because steel got raised. Steel got raised to such a ridiculous price right at the start of the game. Whatever, I've got 2 of them secured. Maybe I can just go for a steel mill. We'll see what happens. We need to be able to buy O2 for the glass furnace in order for it to keep producing. But they are making some amount of money right now, so there's that. This is a stupid play. Never do this. Alright, let's just make sure the glass keeps producing. That's all we gotta do. Thankfully, you don't consume O2 all that quickly, so once you've got some of it bought up and kind of stored away in your glass furnaces, you can actually run a little bit low on money for a time and kind of be okay. And I know, this steel is way too far away, in general. I just wanted to try and go for this to see if I can make it work. The answer already is, don't go for it, it won't work. But it sure makes for some hilarious circumstances. Oh, and a claim. We need a claim. We need a claim yesterday. If I could buy a claim right now, I totally would, and I'd probably just use it on steel. Well, I might suicide for this. On the other hand, Asimov might take it for 40,000. Asimov might just take it for 40,000. Yeah, if I had maybe not waited so long, I might have been okay, but steel's price just got too ridiculously high. It's kind of what it came down to, so I couldn't actually throw down the glass furnaces I wanted to. Asimov makes steel. Yeah, okay, we had mini expansives plant and nobody threw down steel production right at the start. That'll do it. If I could buy a claim, that would be brilliant. Unfortunately, that is not an option that is available to me this game. So we're just going to sit on this glass production. And very, 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 very slowly make some small amount of money. Eventually I'll have steel. It's going to be a brilliant day. Half a steel a second from here. You just wait. It's going to be amazing. So I'm kind of not selling down glass right now because A, I have plenty of funds for what I want to do. Because unfortunately, there are really no good ways for me to improve myself this game. There just aren't. Like, I can't buy a claim, I can't boost anything out or anything like that. So I don't want to be using the black market pretty much at all right now. So I just sit on my money and I hope that glass's price goes up in the short term so I can kind of sell down and push to an expansion. It's going to be the basic idea behind everything. And I can now, but I'm still kind of just sitting here waiting. I could go ahead and go into some steel production. I don't really want to, but I've already kind of committed to it, so I guess I'll just do it.
Our growth is surpassing my most optimistic projections.
And then let's see what else we do. I could grab this water back here and try and eventually go for slant drilling. I could just push into food without too much difficulty. I do have a steel truck coming in finally. Patent office sounds kind of important in this game, actually. How much water is already coming in? 1 there. Is that it? Is that the only water coming in to this robotic player right now? Well, whatever. Maybe I just grab this tile, I go for food. Bam. Food's going to be pretty easy to get into compared to a lot of other things, but maybe it can still work okay. Who knows?
Robotic colony expanded.
Yep. Bradbury, gonna be running away with everything as a robot this game just because he's making steel. It's pretty ridiculous. Actually, Asimov has pulled himself into a really nice spot by taking that claim. His debt isn't too bad, so maybe he can get away with it. Now, we aren't pulling in aluminum, which is actually kind of nice because a lot of aluminum seems to be getting brought in. Like, this guy has quite a lot of aluminum. 1.5 there and another 2 there. That's 3.5 aluminum per second. And there's also the basic idea that he wasn't making enough steel for a long time, so he was having to sell down aluminum, try and get to that steel purchasing. It was just never going to happen. Not a good spot for him at all. Okay, I would love to be able to upgrade before too long, but I'm kind of having to wait on these steel shipments to do it. What we can do is I'll go ahead and sell glass and buy a bunch of aluminum because it went sub $10. I'm still not going to stop making glass because that just seems ridiculous. What I can do when I expand is try to get into some power. Some jerk took this tile. Why would you... I guess he can, but look at that. Look at how far away that is. He's just trying to grab up as much water as he possibly can, it looks like. Might work okay. Still kind of awkward. That is a lot of mutinies going on, I also want to point out. A lot of mutinies. Clark seems to be making plenty of power. So that's got to be where a fair amount of his money was coming from. Obviously the steel isn't really helping out with that, but whatever. I just want to expand. Can I just expand? Please? There it is.
Your new design for the colony layout is simply
going a little extra food there. Along with that, sell down glass to get the steel to put down a farm. How often do you see that? And then I suppose we could go into some solar panels, given that those are ridiculously cheap, even though our solar panels are pretty bad. One option is to put them somewhere like here, on top of this carbon, so I have access to that later. How did solar panels... Silicon just went from $7 to $42. That kind of upsets me. I really would like another solar panel down. They just got so much more expensive than they were a moment ago. Doing it anyway. There we go. Alright. I could scrap out of these and head into some silicon production. It would be more valuable. The silicon production would make more money. But steel is still kind of expensive. I might have to get back into glass at some point. I don't know if I want to actually make that transition at this point. A core sample. That could be pretty cool, actually. I will take a core sample. Or 2 core samples. I mean, that's fine, too. 2 core samples? Go for it. Yeah, totally. A little bit worried about debt because I've just let power go a little too nuts on me. Hopefully, once it's day and these solar panels are built, we'll be alright. Man, there's just no good way to attack a lot of things this game. Having this auction, I don't like the auction plot. I feel like this should be removed, actually. It feels like it just takes up a black market slot. I don't know. I'm not really a fan. Well, as soon as we have some of this food shipping in, we should be okay, as long as it's not getting magnetic stormed out. That is one terrifying option in this game, is the magnetic storm. Don't think we're going to go for more power over there. I was kind of thinking about slant drilling at some point. It might still be an okay option. I don't know if it's the best idea. Let's just go ahead and throw down some silicon right there. Should be pretty decent money. I could also just drop a core sample like right here. That was aluminum, alright. And here, more aluminum. Well, tell you what, aluminum's a bit expensive in the moment, so what I'll do is I'll just throw down on those, try and get to another expansion, and go for maybe a patent office right now. Go ahead and get that goon squatted. See if I can move into something like slant drilling plus carbon scrubbing, and get something weird done with electronics this game. Now, aluminum is already down to $23, and I knew aluminum would be headed down. I was just kind of hoping I could slip in there before it really tanked completely. But we'll just have to see how things play out. Asimov's pulled himself into an absolutely great spot. I don't think... Like, Bradbury has these solar panels down, but he hasn't been able to defend them from the mutinies that have been attacking him, and I think that's hurt him quite badly because he's not actually making any money out of any of them. Oh, Oh man, I'm gonna have to pay debt before long. That really sucks. On top of that, Asimov has been getting boosts out of the fact that we've been forced into selling glass continually this game. Let's see. Slant drilling is kind of what I was looking at. Let's go with it. I could even just get down some extra farms down here if I really wanted to. Steel's still going all right, but this guy's been making... Oh, he's done making steel now. I haven't ever checked Offworlds. We should do... Oh, Offworlds are incredible, this game. Dust Storm, that's going to hurt, because it means we're not making anywhere near enough power. Superconductor. We could take a superconductor. Be alright. Obviously, it's super valuable for Clark, because he has this geotherm right here. But I should leave Clark and Bradbury to fight over it, hopefully. And it should get driven so high from that that I wouldn't be interested in it anyway. Let's see. I still don't know if this founding position was terrible, by the way. That's something I'm actually not sure about either way. That's going to be expensive. If founding here was a terrible idea, I'm not sure. Obviously going for glass right at the start was a terrible idea, but what I could have done maybe was found here, go for steel, down here, over here somewhere, try and make steel work somewhere. And then from that, work on actually getting into the silicon and trying to control that a bit better this game. Alright, 5 claims, 5 claims, 5 claims. What do we want to do? I have slant drilling on the way. I really should have waited for that before upgrading, I think. I don't want to go into any extra steel production. Of course, I'm getting bought. Blech. Never mind, we're not putting down anything. Yeah, we shouldn't have expanded. We should have bought into ourselves, apparently. Because Asimov wants to buy into us, and I don't have the cash for this. It's all floating around elsewhere, and I'm probably just dead from expanding. That's what I get for hitting the button. I wanted to do something with it, but I didn't have the stuff. I just didn't have the stuff. If I happen to have a random shipment come in, I might be able to secure half my stock, which is like the bare minimum amount you need. Nope. Didn't happen. Alright. Fine then. That's what I get for being so far behind. I mean, I am in last place. Buying into me is a good option in a lot of ways. Come on, give me the slant drilling already so I can do what I want to. Why is that what I want to do, though? Do I want to pull in water? Probably not. I could actually maybe just make all these into food. And go for something real stupid like a hacker array. I could go for some electronics production. I kind of wanted teleportation. That's probably not going to happen. Still can't afford it? Electronics just that expensive? There we go. Glass is still making decent money. Electronics will be better, though, I think. Let's see. Plus 66, plus 57, even without adjacency. Yeah, let's just go into electronics completely. Steel's not that expensive right now. Hopefully we can pull it off. Clark is halfway to buying us, despite the fact that Asimov's the one who controls all of our stock. And once again, we have $200 in debt. I am never going to break this habit that kills me. What's going on here is I have a habit where I basically continually sell all resources, almost all the time, because I want access to my cash. Now, this means that I never have resources sitting around stopping me from acquiring debt. It used to be I could get away with that very easily, and it wasn't a problem. But it is not a habit that I have been able to break at all since Beta 4 hit, really. And it will never stop hurting me, because I will always end up with a ridiculous amount of debt and end up having to pay more at the end of the day. It's very frustrating. And I don't really know what to do about it, if I'm honest. A lot of people able to actually make food this game, because water's not completely insane. Now, the silicon shortage is interesting. Thankfully, we get to ignore it for the purposes of our electronics production, but now it would be better if it were silicon, but I don't know where that's going to land exactly. Why am I selling out of food when I know there's a food shortage on the way? I don't need to buy food necessarily, I just need to not be selling out of food, and I need to figure out what to do with this last claim. I could even just put down a stupid little silicon quarry for the time being and see what happens. Alright, hopefully this works. It might be too slow. Like, adrenaline boosts, I feel like, make the hacker array a lot more usable, because you can half the time on the hack itself, right? But without the adrenaline boost, the hacker array can take a really long time to actually get anything done, and it can make for a very awkward situation. Yes, yes, Asimov is halfway to buying us, and that is a huge problem. Wow, he's actually way closer. He's going up by 5% a second right now. What is even going on there? How is he gaining on us by 5% a second? What is making you that much money, man? Is it just... I don't even know. And see, this is what I'm talking about. The food shortage came in. I already had to sell. So this is just hurting me, like almost exclusively, because it encourages people to stay in food. I do not know how he was going up by 5% a second. That was pretty nuts. Alright, well, we're still dead. That might help. Picking up teleportation for a moment. We still have $200,000 of debt. That's 400 a second. A lot of that from water. 7,000. I just can't get a handle on debt. I don't know if I'll ever get a handle on debt again. It's going to take forever for me to figure it out. That's for sure. Do some of that. This guy, I guess, is still making money on his electronics production. We're still in a position where we're basically dead. Now, Asimov might have killed himself on Bradbury, but I'm kind of giving both of them a little bit more of an interesting fight by buying into Bradbury a bit. Because suddenly it makes me even more valuable to pick up because of the stock that I hold in Bradbury. Like, if Asimov can get to me, he can more easily get to the buy on me now and be successful with it because I own a lot of Bradbury. But Bradbury is going to want to claim me as well and maybe focus on slowing down Asimov even more to make sure he can't get to the buy and then have all of his own stock secured through that. Now, Asimov should be in a position where he can just once again run away with the whole thing right now. But we'll just have to see. I did drive everybody else out of food. So there's that. It's way too little, way too late, though. It just took way too long to get done. And on top of that, I didn't get to use the food shortage almost at all. And here comes my death. Asimov probably does want to just go ahead and buy me. Like, Bradbury isn't sitting on any amount of cash whatsoever. Don't go glass at the start of the game, guys, in case you didn't know that already. It's a good way to get yourself killed. I mean, not that you guys didn't know that already, but it was an interesting thing to experiment with, in particular because there was no silicon on this map. Like, none. Now, silicon never quite went nuts, I believe in part because look at all these geotherms. So despite steel's ridiculous price, people weren't forced to buy silicon. They were able to go into all these geotherms in order to supply their power. And so silicon was never going to go completely nuts. Maybe the basic premise could have worked of founding here, taking steel somewhere else, hopefully not too far away, and then going into glass production. Maybe the basic idea could have functioned. It would just need to be done differently. And on a map maybe with less geotherms. It's the kind of thing that I may try out again if I see a really, really good map for it. But this is just the kind of game that you have to lose sometimes. Seriously, guys? That was a slowdown strike. Take that. That thing is awesome. I mean, I know I'm out of the game, so it's not like as crucial, but slowdown strikes are pretty cool, actually. Oh well. Silicon's doing well now. $134. It only took that long. Oh well. Anyway, Terry should have this, it looks like. Cubit's kind of just sitting here. He's got virtual reality going, which is making him good money. He's not selling power. He does have a hologrammed Offworld, 2 hologrammed Offworlds. There have been a lot of spies purchased this game, which I find really interesting. Let's see, we got one there. It looks like Cubit is actually taking care to keep an eye on his competitors for the most part there. And you can buy spies up very rapidly, so that's not really a huge surprise. I've kind of wondered, I think right now holograms and spies don't trigger cooldown and you can buy them off cooldown. I've wondered if they should have a cooldown, just a separate cooldown. You could have like one area for espionage type activities perhaps and one for destruction type activities. I don't really know if you just wanted to count them as such. Maybe they would be more usable that way. I don't really know. Yeah, Cubit just hasn't ever transitioned out of his food, which is very strange. Obviously sending this oxygen is making him a ridiculous amount of money and might pull him through. Our robot player also is pushed to an off-world, but he's not using it, which is not good. Pretty sure even with oxygen at this ridiculous price, it would make money. And let's see, Cubit's driven water crazy. For some reason, he is still producing on his electrolysis through all of this. And I think he's maybe just trying to... Yeah. He's trying to hurt Asimov by driving water nuts. AKA Terry. And then holding it there. Just trying to make sure that he is stuck running those electrolysis reactors. But he wasn't able to hold it long enough, basically. And now he's just stuck with overloaded electrolysis. So Terry did manage to push to a buy on Aziphos. Cubit has 507,000, so he's like halfway there. He's even maybe closer, it looks like he's closer than Terry is to finishing everything up, but I don't know if he's close enough because I just don't see where he's pulling in enough money. This water is going to be helping him out a lot. These are really, really good. The off-worlds are helping a lot, but his opponent has one too. His opponent also has engineering labs that he's been able to make some use of. You can see water, food, chems, glass being the important thing here, I guess, and then electronics. Cubit is over halfway there. He's making really good money. I don't know exactly how to call this at this point. It could go either way. I'm still really, really concerned that these 3 tiles have never done anything. They could even be electrolysis right now and be okay. They could be glass production right now maybe and be okay. They could just be turned back on at this point and be okay. But I'm really concerned about the fact that Cubit's been wasting 3 tiles this entire time. Now, in the same vein, Terry has been effectively wasting a fairly large number of tiles as well. In a lot of ways. All of this food is okay because it's scientific. And so he can get away with that. And that's okay, but like things like this electronics production. All of these tiles are effectively wasted. So that's 9 tiles wasted for Terry. I think Terry's going to pull it off at this point. Because even though he has, okay, even counting these, that's basically 12 wasted tiles for Terry. 12 wasted tiles. But he has so many tiles that Cubit's 3 wasted tiles almost matter more. And he actually just scrapped them and now transitioned them. Just in this moment, he made that move. And it's been a very long time since that kind of thing should have happened. Food production is still getting upgraded for Terry. What really concerns me, actually, is that oxygen production is so important this game. But Cubit never made a move to really secure strong, dry ice. Nobody really did this game except for me. So Terry's sitting here on this amazing dry ice production that I established early on with my steel production. And it eventually turned into fantastic amounts of oxygen. Like, look at that. Look at that. That is 1 oxygen per second per tile. Whereas if we come over to Cubit's reactors, they don't even compare at 3/4 of an oxygen per second. Even with this ridiculous amount of oxygen production... No, that's... Sorry, this is... Who am I looking at? It's hard to make the AI, the UI do exactly what I want it to. So yeah, Terry is sitting on less oxygen upgrades than Cubit. It's getting real close, though. Cubit's pushing to it. Like, Cubit's almost there. 90%. Terry, how much? You have 180,000 debt to pay down. Now is the time. Now is the time to pay down debt. Just bam, do it. Drop it. You know you can. Cubit might pull this out still. He finally used these tiles. That was a huge deal. Cubit's also making oxygen, which is absolutely fantastic. Cubit's calling the GG. He thinks he has it. He might be right. He's probably right. Oh, debt. Yeah, 9% more to go for Cubit. But he just got 6% of that in that moment. And so he should still be okay. Like, he's got those Offworlds launching. I think he's going to wrap it up momentarily here. Offworlds are really, really good as expansive. And the fact that Terry never moved into them. Like, never. He never, ever, ever took advantage. Oh, and Cubit actually mutinied this one away. That's ridiculous. Terry never, ever, ever took advantage of that massive expansive bonus to Offworlds. And so that's what let Cubit eventually go ahead and take it. You always like it when the guy who buys you loses eventually. It's like, maybe you should have done something else, jerk. Alright. Strong win for Cubit. Just clearly showing that he knows how to play that particular colony, especially. And understanding how to use the new black market very, very well. He had those Offworlds hologrammed the entire time. I don't know if he ever even got suspected of doing that. I certainly didn't care, because he wasn't my problem, right? I had other issues going on, but it was a good win for Cubit. Making good use of holograms there. You can see he made no money on World. He lost money on World. How often do you see that? Somebody who loses money on World still goes on to win the game because he had so many Offworld launches. But it was all his Offworld launches. This is where all of his profit was that game. Bought water, bought oxygen, managed to sell some fuel and some steel, bought electronics. Oh man, ridiculous. It's fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and hop on out of this one. Not resume game, exit game, there we go. And host another. And let's not do something ridiculous this